Wanted to say goodbye to working 9 to 5 and wanted to work from home, we have advice that might help out from someone who's done it himself, entrepreneur John Cristani. Good to see you.
You were 25 last year, and your business did $2 million.
And what's crazier is that last January 2018, I was making 10 grand a month with a 2 to 3K profit. So my business completely exploded. It was in 90 days. It went from like 10K a month with a $2,000, $3,000 profit, almost nothing, meaning like I was working like a minimum wage job, working 12 hours a day. Think about that for a minute. I went from that, in 90 days later, I'm doing 100K a month.
Welcome to the Internet Jet Set podcast. Now, this podcast is made for those who are tired and want to ditch their corporate lives and work for themselves and experience everything that the freedom of self-employment has to offer. So on this podcast, my guest and I will share tactical ways in which you can work for yourself and the blueprint to get started building the life of your dreams. So visit me on my YouTube channel, John Cristani on YouTube, for more exclusive content and to get access to a free training course to help you get started with your first profitable internet business. What is up, Jet Setters? Excited to have you all here and to learn from my friend Josue Peña. He's an internet entrepreneur. He's built his business to 7 figures. And for those of you, you can't see this, but I'm on video with him, and I see that beautiful, shiny ClickFunnels 7-figure award in the background he recently got this year, right?
Yeah,
this year.
Actually, no, it was last year, September. I actually got the physical on stage thing this year. Yeah.
Built your business. Last year was the first year you built your business 7 figures. Yeah. Congratulations. So we're gonna be talking about Josue is a master at Instagram, okay? And he's built up an ad agency which makes him millions of dollars, particularly in Instagram. So and he is a master at personal branding. So I'm going to be asking him some questions to get deeper into how he's built his ad agency, who he believes this is for, who should go that route, and also some tips about personal branding. I'm personally really excited. Are you down? Are you excited?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Cool.
Do it.
So first off, you went to college. You have a master's degree. You worked for 5 years, was it?
I worked for very little time. I hated it. So this whole internet stuff started for me even like before I got into college, because I wanted to become a professional soccer player. That was my story. That was my dream, And I went to college as an engineer. For those of you
watching on the podcast, I'm wearing my alumni, my high school soccer alumni hat right here. So I love sports just like you do.
Yeah. And I got started, I went to college because I had no choice in DR. But then I got into social media. I thought like, hey,
from Dominican Republic.
Yeah, DR. Yep, that's how I went to college there.
Straight up.
Yeah, I grew up and lived in DR all the way until I was 22. I'm 26 now.
What do your friends think of you? They see you you're running a million. I mean, not too many people from DR running $1 million plus business.
Yeah, no, they say like, I have some friends that work for me, and they're like, is it actually legit? Like the other friend's like, is it actually legit? Like, is he really making that? And they're like, yeah.
What do they think? You're like stealing?
I'll be some kind of like alien or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, with high school and college, I was always like kind of like the black sheep. I was, always getting into fights, and like the guy that was like against the norm, and like always trying to like, they used to call me like the lawyer because I always argue about everything. So I was like kind of like that odd guy back then. But, I started this online stuff, social media, because I wanted to become a pro soccer player. And I thought of using that as leverage to get a pro contract, because nobody's going to find me in DR playing soccer, like that's not going to happen. So I thought, okay, I got to put myself out there. So that's kind of how I started. And then I've worked an engineer. I worked in a factory first, like doing some electrical conduits and like boxes. I didn't even know what it was. It was horrible. I know that. And
I worked electrical engineer by trade.
Yeah, it's 6 months there. And then I worked in an actual engineering firm as a supervisor for construction work. Like I was like 20, 21, supervising guys that were 35, 40-year-olds. Like they hated my guts. They thought I was making more money than them when I wasn't. And because I was a supervisor, and then I had to do their work because they wouldn't listen to me. It was just horrible.
So a question, actually, I want to back up a little further because you are, as just a person, 26 years old, running a multi-million-dollar business, electrical engineer from, people in America. I've been to Dominican Republic. I love it. It's not a third world country, but people, most people in America would think it's a third world country.
It actually is a third world country, depending on where you went. It might not look like it. For example, the capital. Yeah, the capital is like very like developed. Santiago, or the city is where I'm from, like the second largest city. But like the rest of the country is like countryside, rural. Like
by the way, I love it. I went all the way to Haiti on a bus.
Well, I mean, Haiti is a completely different story.
Haiti's, don't go to Haiti. But you pros, on the pro soccer player track, you have, like, it sounds like you have a drive that is very uncommon. Most people I speak to, they just went through the motions. I mean, here you are, you're to become a pro soccer player, even have that like as a possibility in your life, you have to work unbelievably hard. And then on top of that, you're studying electrical engineering. Then on top of that, you're building up your social media. What gives you that drive? What fuels you? Because I get so lazy. I want to know, what's the fuel? Why are you have more fuel than like 99 other people I meet on the street? Like, what's that difference?
I don't know. Hunger. I mean, I come from humble beginnings. Everything was given to me in terms of like food, shelter, like roof over my head, which I'm super grateful for my parents and everything. But like, we were not balling by any means. I would see some people in DR, in soccer, first of all, there's two different spectrums in Dominican Republic. There's the rich kids that play soccer, and there's the very, very, like, the poor kids, middle class, like, kind of kids. I was in this pot, like, in the one that didn't have much. But in tournaments, we will play against those kids, right? And I will see, like, their parents, like, they were, like, I'm like, how can I get to there? Like, it's impossible. Like, it's barely impossible in DR, because the workforce is, like, if you think the workforce is like the system is rigged in the United States, DR is like worse than here. So, because here in the United States, if you work hard, you advance in life. You get a better position, you get a high pay raise, like stuff like that. In DR, you don't. Like, you see people working 25 years in the same position, and they don't get anything. So I saw that, and from an early age, I'm like, I don't want this. Like, I would see my dad coming home from work at 9:00 at night. I'm like, and we were like, we had what we needed, but we're not balling. I'm like, man, like, I don't want to work like that. Like, I just don't. So I fell in love with soccer. And I remember back then, and which is funny, how I've developed my quote unquote sales skills. I'm looking backwards now. I'm connecting the dots, I'm like, okay, this point in my life, I guess this worked. And I was never giving allowance, like money, like to whatever. But I also wasn't allowed to work. My dad was like, no, you're not going to work. You're going to study. Because if you work, you're going to fall in love with money, but you're not going to keep studying. So I had to figure out, like, how the heck did you job? Like you steal? Like, the other policy is like, all right, you either sell or steal. And stealing is not a very good thing. And so what I did was, like, literally just go to my closet. So I had an uncle in New York, or New Jersey, actually. Every single Christmas, he will send, like, a huge box of presents, and with toys and a ton of stuff. And I would, like, just, I would just, in my closet, was just like a humongous, like, warehouse of, like, crap that I had there. So what I did was, I was like 13, 14. I wanted new cleats, right? Or I wanted to buy a new video game console or whatever. Like, my parents didn't have money to do that. So what I did was just go to my closet and then just sell the stuff that I was in there, like, that I wasn't using. So I would just go, like, to this website called Mercado Libre, which is like eBay or Craigslist of DR, right? And I would just post it there, and people will buy it. And that's how, how I started selling online, I guess. And then I started doing the social media with soccer, and everything just snowballed. And
not somebody who takes no for an answer.
No, I don't. I mean, it's just hunger. I don't know, like, what drives me. I I like, people say
you're stubborn. You're stubborn as fuck.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. That I do know. Yeah, I've broken both of my ankles playing soccer. My parents, like, hated me. My teeth got kicked back. I'd gone through a lot of stuff playing soccer, and I just kept at it. So, and I actually got to the pro too. So I made it here in the States.
What happened?
I said no. I get through an agency. they saw my audience online in 2016. This happened, and they saw my audience, and they're like, okay, like you can be a case study. We're gonna put you in a pro team, and we want you to document it and show people this is actually possible. And it was through an agency, right? And basically, the whole goal of the agency, actually, the player pays the agency, and then they get a fee on the contract, whatever. So they wanted me to use me as a case study to put me on a pro team. But it was because of my social media. So my plan actually worked like 5 years later, right? But that moment I said no, because I realized the opportunity and the power of the online world. And it was hard. Like, you're working towards the dream for 10 years and you say no to it. Even today, I'm like, sometimes I get a bittersweet thing. Like last weekend, I was seeing a Barcelona game. I'm like, I get so like pumped up, like watching soccer.
Wow.
But I think it was the right choice, because now, for example, I'm able to help my family, my friends. Like, I'm able to travel all over the place. Like, I play semi-pro here in the States, and it was miserable. Like, I used to play against pro teams and pro players, and they wouldn't make any money. Like, they will, like, you're just another piece in an engine that they can just replace at any time. You get injured, you're done. Like, and I was, at the time, I was like 23, 24, and I realized this thing. I'm like, okay, how many years do I have playing? Like, 8 maybe, and what then? Like, like when I'm 32 or 35, like that, I'm done. Like, so I'm like, all right, I need it's a hard choice, but everybody's like, oh, follow your little feelings. I'm like, no, like, follow your head, make calculated decisions. And that's what I did. And to answer your question again, like, I don't know what drives me. Like, people say I'm on cocaine. Like, I kid you not. I talk fast.
You're
so cocaine. Like, I'm like, no, I've never.
Outsider looking in, you're stubborn and competitive as heck.
Yeah, I am that. Like, that's for sure. Which is not the best thing, honestly, in some areas of your life. But I guess, I don't know. Like, what drives me is just like, I'm hungry. I want more. And like, for example, like, you see like the 7-figure award and like the multi-million-dollar business. I'm like,
how much did your business, if you don't mind me asking, I don't know, and you tell me if I'm off my thing.
All right, go ahead.
But how much did your business make last year?
Almost $2 million.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And a year ago, like for example, we're in April.
You were 25. Right? You were 25 last year, and your business did $2 million.
Yeah. And what's crazier is that last January 2018, I was making 10 grand a month with a 2 to 3K profit. So my business completely exploded. It was in 90 days. It went from like 10K a month with a $2,000, $3,000 profit, almost nothing, meaning like I was working like a minimum wage job, working 12 hours a day. Think about that for a minute. I went from that in 90 days later, I'm doing 100K a month. It was like absolutely explosive.
And this is in 2018,
last year, a year ago, like literally a year ago from now.
Wow.
Like, it went like from 10K a month to 100K a month in 90 days.
90 days.
90 days.
That's crazy.
Without running ads, without paying a single penny in paid traffic, nothing. Like,
no ads.
No ads.
That first of all, that's extraordinary. And I want to say congratulations. Like, coming from, Dominican Republic, I traveled around the whole country. I went to, was it Cabarete? Is Cabarete?
Cabarete, yeah, Puerto Plata, yep.
Puerto Plata, yeah.
You saw the city, how it was.
I've been to Santo Domingo, Punta Cana. I went to some other areas where we did stuff, because I went around the whole like island, like Haiti, the whole thing. But there aren't the opportunities to be making 100 grand a month. Yeah, and it's online. Like, I would have never made 100 grand a month physically, like in a physical business or in a normal job, like ever. No, but it doesn't. Online just gives you the opportunity. So you're running a ad agency. You're running a marketing agency, which is, it's actually where I started as well. I was running a PPC agency back in 2012. That's how I got my start. But I'm wondering, for people, 10 to 100 grand actually is much easier than going from 0 to 10 grand. And I'm wondering,
I don't know about that.
Oh, really?
I think it's easier going from 0 to 10K than 100K, 10K.
Well, what I'm interested in hearing is, like, how did you decide, running an ad agency was the model you wanted to do? Because there's
Yeah.
You know, like you were doing e-commerce technically too. You were selling products online, and we all hear all these different pitches. There's e-commerce, there's affiliate marketing, there's day trading, there's, you know, there's flipping real estate, there's, you know, ad agent consulting, you know, all this stuff. I'm wondering how did you decide, you know, ad agency, and also how did you get your first clients?
Yeah. So in 2016, when I said no to the pro contract, right, I went to the R and I met this girl. It was like, it's a crazy story. Like, put things short, like I had no money, like literally $200 for the entire month. Literally no money. I ate granolas and drank water only for 4 days. Like the Natural Valley granola.
Turned down a pro soccer contract, and you were completely broke, and you're like, I'm going to run an internet business.
Yeah, but it didn't really happen like that. That was not the train of thought. So, I mean, yeah, I know. I met this, like, I was going to meet this influencer. Her name is Virginia. I'm very good friends with her today. And what I realized is, like, I started seeing the power of networking, right? I met her, like, we made like 400 sales in 48 hours, which is nuts, like $1 sale. Like, it was like $400 in 48 hours. I was like, oh my God, I just made $200 in 40 hours because we were splitting 50-50. I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. And then from there, the next month, I remember to this day, September 13th, 2016, first paying client, $3,500 a month. It was completely random. Like,
what?
It was because of the networking I did, right? I networked with her, like she introduced me to her network, like her friends online, right? And what happened was, like, people saw the value that I was providing. They were like, oh, I want to learn Instagram. I already knew Instagram back then, how to grow and stuff like that. And this guy, he's probably worth like $50 million. Like, he owns like huge insurance companies, and his name is Tim. And like, he hits me up and he's like, oh yeah, like I want to grow my Instagram and whatnot. Like, how much would you charge me for consulting? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, I just search him up and like, he's worth like multiple millions of dollars. I'm like, what's the most that I think I can charge this guy? Okay.
Nice.
$3,500 a month for 4 calls, 1 hour call per week. Done. If I make that, I'm balling. And he's like, okay, cool. Here you go. I'm like, crap, I should have charged $10K. So that was my first client. And then from there, I started networking more. People started hitting me up. Like, I was just providing value for free. And then people just like come back. And the beauty about, like, in my opinion, with the ad agents, like a marketing agency or an agency in general, is that, people say like you need X amount of sales and whatnot. You don't really need that many sales with an agency because you're selling high ticket. Like, in order to make $10K a month, you only need 5 clients paying you $2K a month. And $2K a month is nothing to a real business owner, right?
Yeah.
Then if you're able to provide services for them, anything really, it becomes very, very easy. So in 2016, I did that. In 2017, I got into the info product business, selling an Instagram course, which was $9.97 or $7.97. And it was good. We did it, in 2017, I did $137,000. Almost lost it all in summer. It
went from like zero income in 2016. You got your first client at the end of the year. You did 100,000 in 2017, and then you did almost 2 million
last year. Yeah. And well, in the last 365 days, we've done almost 3. But yeah.
Insane. So
yeah, the growth has been explosive.
That's explosive growth.
Yeah.
But I'm still reeling from how crazy you were when that first started, but also 3,500 is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, it is. For me, it was like $1 million. Like think about it. Like, you're not making any, like zero, like nothing. Like I was making
4 calls. That's like $750 an hour. If we're just saying a call is an hour, that the math, it's like $750 an hour. But the guy said no problem because he saw that you knew your stuff. He saw you knew how to implement. He saw that you were on the cutting edge of social media. Like, I think I'm sure a lot of. And I'm sure you knew a lot of people around the cutting edge of social media, but you got in. But because you did that collaboration, because you had been offering value for free and getting your name out there, you were the one getting in front of these multimillionaires.
Yep.
That have no problem paying $750 an hour. And for me, it's actually the same thing. I have no problem paying lots of money. For me, it's all. I just want to work with smart people and results. networking is like so important. So you put yourself out there. You learned a skill too. You learned how to, you learned Instagram and how to work that particular social media network. So for people looking to start their own agency, do you suggest they, because I see some agencies, they're pitching the whole, I've seen a lot of agencies, and they do the whole thing. They do like ads, they do like organic, they do YouTube, Google ads, Facebook ads. Do you suggest people like where you are now do the whole thing, or they just get good at one?
Good at one. And if you get good at one, you're like you're competing in a smaller sea, but it's bluer. If you're like trying to like do this whole social media marketing agency thing, like you're competing in a humongous Red Sea. And also you don't have a competitive edge. Like people don't know you for something, right? Like for example, me, I know how to do webinars. I know how to do chatbots, email marketing, funnels, ads, like all this stuff, right? But and I know how to do Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, like the whole thing. But people don't know me for that. People know me for Instagram. So they when they think of Instagram, what do they think about? They think about me, right? When they think about Facebook, they don't think about me, even though I know Facebook. And that's okay. That's okay. Somebody else can take the Facebook thing. But I'm honing in the Instagram. And I think it was very good on my end because Instagram right now is just blowing up like crazy. And I believe even for the beginner, it's a humongous opportunity. Even if you're starting out, right? So we've had students that have gone from like in 5 days, they take the course $3,000. Like Instagram right now, because of the power of the organic platform, Facebook is dead organically. Like it's a pay to play. Instagram is both a pay to play and organic. So it has that power still to it, and you can get results very, very quickly. And people are a lot more engaged. They're just crazy to buy on Instagram. Like you don't follow technically an e-com brand or like something like business on Facebook, but you follow it on Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. So Instagram right now is a humongous opportunity for everybody, and that's why I believe we've been able to blow up so quickly, just because now a lot of people know how to do it. Very people are actually implementing it right, and even fewer know how to monetize. So it's like, man, like and it's simple. It's Instagram is a traffic source. You put out good quality content out there. You drive traffic to DMs, Instagram stories to an offer. You just convert it. It's simple, like normal marketing. But people overcomplicate it. They do all these crazy mumbo jumbo stuff. And I'm like, no, just keep it simple. Like just it.
So, and by the way, for anybody listening right now, if you want to learn more about how, like the actual techniques of, what Josue, does, or if you want to work with him, search his name. It's Josue Peña, which is P-E-N. It's that N with the weird like dragon.
Or they can just put Peña, P-E-N-A.
Just put the N-A. So and search him, friend him on Facebook, search him on anything. You're all over social media. So
I am.
search him and add Instagram to the end of his name. But find a way, to if you're interested in social media, learn from this guy or to work with this guy because he's a total beast. Now, in terms of networking, I just want to get back to, sorry, I had to do the.
Yeah, you're good.
Because you're the man. So in terms of networking, so I understand, focus on one social media, get good at it, and you don't need to be the best in the world, but you need to know it. But in terms of the networking stuff, which I liked, offer free value, where would you suggest if somebody's looking to kind of, let's say I know Snapchat ads or some, or just Snapchat. I know how to build a Snapchat following or something. How would I start with networking? How do I know where to go? I don't know.
So the first thing is knowing who you're talking to. So on the Instagram spectrum, right? I know people come for me for Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. But at the beginning, I was only working with personal brands. Now I've expanded because, you attract the gravity pull of your results, just attract more people. But as you're starting out, just focus on one niche. Just do that. Again, you're focusing, let's say, only on Instagram, but inside of Instagram, you have a ton of stuff: e-commerce, beauty, fitness, personal brand, coaches, consultants, influencers. There's so much stuff out there on the Instagram.
On a specific group of people, add value to that. So, let's say I wanted to, tree trimmers, right?
People who trim trees.
Oh yeah, it's a big business out here. They
really? I had no idea.
They charge like $1,000 a tree. Oh, it's like they love leads. It's hard to get, like they spend a lot of money on advertising because they charge like $1,500 to trim one tree.
Actually, I think of a way like that's just a local business. Like you just run local Instagram ads and you build a page around like beautiful houses, like with beautiful trees. Instagram is very visual.
You focus on a niche. So you focus on a niche and you add value there because there's niches for everything. You focused on personal brands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I work with like everything under the sun, like from like personal brands to like Spanish, Portuguese, and even Turkish accounts to freaking accounts and like that sell mini pigs. Like that's the weirdest niche I've worked.
Mini pigs?
Yeah. That's probably, no, I'm not kidding you. $3,000, $8,000 a pig.
How much a pig?
$3,500 to $8,000 a pig.
$8,000 a pig?
Yeah, mini pigs.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like the only possible explanation. Like I only buy pigs in Walmart to get bacon. That's it. Like they buy mini pigs, like, and they're selling it through Instagram, which is crazy, right? So you can do anything, to be honest.
Selling mini pigs through Instagram.
Yep.
Is this a client? This is a client of yours?
It was a client, yeah.
What?
A year ago.
And they were selling. You got them selling mini pigs through Instagram. That's
yeah. They were doing close to $500,000 in selling.
That almost seems that's craziness. That I mean, I just got the idea of mini pig bacon, but so that makes
to that audience, they will like crucify you for animal cruelty.
Oh my god!
Because they're like it's a pet. They're selling it as a pet, not as a bacon.
Okay, I like the idea of bacon.
Me too.
So I got an idea of what it takes to get started, and that's been super helpful. Now, what I'm wondering, and I have one final question before we kind of wrap things up, which is what is, and this is the Peter Thiel question. What is one thing you believe that most people would disagree with you on?
What is the one thing I believe
that most people would disagree with you on? And you said you're a disagreeable person, so
yeah. I mean, when an argument is presented, not when an open-ended question is thrown at me.
I won't get an argument. I haven't seen somebody get an argument with you. Maybe if we find a topic, maybe we'll do a debate sometime. But but what's one thing most people would disagree with you on?
In what spectrum? In like live business, like marketing?
It could be dating. It could be business. It could be space travel. I don't know.
Okay, we're talking about Instagram and marketing in general. In my opinion, right, Instagram first is the easiest, in my opinion, the easiest thing you can ever do. And like even like as a complete beginner, like you could just go like search the local newspaper, radio, billboards, and just hit up those businesses and tell them I'm gonna do your Instagram. Like they suck at it, and if you know just a little tiny bit, you'll get paid. But that's not a very controversial topic. I say, right, there's a huge humongous influx in people that sell courses, which is extremely profitable. But I say anybody can make a $5,000 sale, even if you don't know even the exact skill that you're selling.
Huh.
So this is what I did, right? And this is like something I've experienced myself. This is what I did when I started. I knew Instagram, right? But my hands were tied. Like I was like having to sell, provide value, create content, lead generation, lead nurture. It was a lot. So what I did was find somebody that knows what they're doing on growing their page, like on Telegram, like on Instagram. Like let's say you're trying to build a mini pig page or a pit bull page or anything. Search out the Instagram page, hit up that account owner. More than likely, they don't know what they're doing in terms of monetization. Ask them how much they charge. Go out there and find a client, and you just be the middleman. So you don't even need to actually fulfill the service. And I've had, students that actually do this. So in my opinion, right, most people will disagree with me in this. You don't need to have ideally you need a skill. But if you want, you don't need it, right, to start. You don't need it. You don't need anything to start, like nothing. You need to have a brain between your two ears. And that's it.
Willpower. Basically.
Willpower. And the willing to fail. Like the most the willingness to get people to reject you, to say no.
Dude, that is some gnarly stuff. You're like, no, you don't even need this skill. You don't even need you don't need basically you just need willpower.
I scaled up to 100K a month, not fulfilling.
Wow.
Like I was just a middleman.
And
I was like, my profit it was 2/3. So my cost was 1/3, like 33% of the actual. So my cost was 33%. I was making 67% profit or something like that.
But that's awesome.
By being the middleman without doing the work.
That's amazing. And that's also really inspirational. And I'd agree with you on this. I bet a lot of people listening in are thinking, what? You know, like you need all these things, you know, because I talk.
I don't even have a website.
People think you need, people put so many obstacles in their way. And
yeah, my order form, like people like, you need technical knowledge. I'm like, no, like my order form is like the most simple, is a template, the templated version of the order form from ClickFunnels. And they just put a title in it. That's it. Like my order form looks extremely sucky, even to this day. Like it's made close to $3 million and it sucks still to this day.
And,
so
and the offer and it's funny because I've seen so many testimonials for your service.
Yeah.
I've seen I've seen so many raving reviews of what you're able to do. Just being a middleman, I mean, it's incredible.
Now, like obviously, that was last year. Like I increased my profit margin by having everything in house. So now I do have a team.
Oh, you increased your profit margin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You always want that. Come on.
I think that's it. Awesome. You now you're offering better quality of service.
Exactly. I mean, like
money.
Like I went from I'm like 33%. I'm like I'm paying too much money. Like I was being greedy. Well, I don't care. Like that's part of being a business owner, right? You try to improve. I'm like, all right, I'm paying too much money. I want to get down to like paying out 20%, 15%. So, that's the only way you do that is by getting people in house and building a team and stuff like that. So
that's amazing, dude. So that is so inspirational. And I love that because I've heard other business, I don't know where I've heard this, but it's like, in the startup world, people say, oh, you know what, just break even. Just break, break.
I was broke. Like how? I was breaking even.
You're like, yeah, you're like, no, like I got to make more. So that's awesome. Yeah. Well, dude, so we'll end this with any final words that you for somebody just getting started. Any final words?
Yeah, I would just say focus on these 3 things, and we mentioned this in the podcast today. Skill, and you don't even need it, but just try to develop a skill, either sales or Instagram marketing, any type of skill, develop that. Focus on one thing and nail that like every single day. Like I promise, like if people actually took the time, even like an hour or 2 hours a day per week, that's 14 hours a week. If they just focus for 1 or 2 hours a day, even if you have a job or whatever, it doesn't matter. And you did that for 365 days, your life will completely change. Like it will be 90-day difference. Like my life completely changed. It wasn't like from 2016, 2017, it completely changed my life. In 2017, I was went bankrupt. Like it was a whole nother story, but it was a very horrible situation in business. I had a partner, but whatever. Anyways, and then from 2017, 2018, completely different too. Like 90-day different. And from 2018 to now, like completely different. In 2018, it's not even halfway gone. Like we just closed our biggest sale today, 1.2 mil, one sale.
Today?
Like not today, to date. Today, the biggest sale to date.
Okay.
1.2 mil last month.
Holy shit.
Yeah, one sale, right? So it's like skill, focus on one thing. Like forget about all these other stuff. Just focus on one thing. If you are serving gym owners with Instagram, go out through every single freaking gym in your city, offer a 2-week trial. I don't care. Just offer it. If you're not good at sales, if you're not good at sales, just, okay, I'll do it for this thing for free for 2 weeks. You just pay for ads. Done. And you are developing the skill set as you go, So you're getting a client. That's a free trial. They sign an agreement that they're giving you testimonial. They're going to sign as a client. If you get them results, and all you're putting in is your time. Like it's free. Like that's it. And it's taking you 14 hours a week, like 1 or 2 hours a day. That's it. So focus. Like that's the second one. And then the third one, networking. The reason why I went from $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month, I went to the ClickFunnels event last year. All right, went to the ClickFunnels event, started networking with a ton of people, providing value to a ton of people. I decided to surround myself with the right people. I'm like, right, the people who are on stage, those are the people who I want to be friends and surround themselves with. So what do you do? Instead of just going out there and for it to you or like all these other guys that just like were on stage and I looked up to you like as lords, I worshiped you guys basically. then what I did was just provide value for free. Instead of me asking for stuff, I'm like, hey, how can I help and serve you? And you're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I do Instagram. What kind of results do you have? Well, I have these results. Oh, awesome. Like, let's see how we can help. Like, I will just give away for free my stuff. And these people are like, what is this guy going to charge me? I'm like, I don't charge him. And they're like, I feel bad. Here's my money. You're like,
That's awesome.
So, obviously, like, it's a hit or miss. Like, every now and then you get that person. From every 10 people, you get 4 people that don't do it. That's okay. But they have in the back of their head, they owe you, right? So I'm playing the long term. I'm always playing the long term. I don't want to earn money, the dollar today. I want to earn the $10 tomorrow.
That's funny you say you're playing the long term, because you're still 26 years old running a multi-million-dollar business. So and you got there within to get to a set, you were in business less than a year and a half. So the long term seems to come back pretty fast.
I mean, long term for me, like, quick results will be a week. Long term for me, it's 6 months. Anything above that is like eternity. I don't like anything.
Yeah.
But it's those 3 things only, like skill, focus, and networking. Like, just focus, hone those 3 things, and just like pound every single day on those. And that's it. Like, your life can change so freaking fast. You have no idea. And yeah,
that is awesome, dude. Thank you so much for being on this podcast with me. It's fun hanging out. Yeah, it was fun hanging out. All the places we've hung out.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to inspire a lot of people. And if you're watching this, make sure go over, follow this guy. He is obviously, like you hear, his trajectory is insane. He's like, oh yeah, then I'm like, doubling sale. I've doubled sales so far this year and increased profit margin. I'm like, who is this guy? So that's awesome. And looking forward to doing more stuff together in the future.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do a debate someday eventually. That was one idea I had for this podcast to do. I want to debate some people. Like, not enough people like fucking argue about
I'm
like
an arguer. I'll argue about anything.
Topic, like business topics. So that's something I want to do eventually. But dude, great seeing you, man. Thanks again. Follow him, Instagram, Facebook, and everything. And see ya.
All right. Thank you.
That's a wrap. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Internet Jet Set podcast. Now, if you're not subscribed already, be sure to do so now. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you could do me a quick favor and rate and review the podcast on the Apple Podcast app. Now, this lets the platform know that I'm doing something right and people like you love the content. It'll be a huge help and I would be super grateful. Also, be sure to head over to my YouTube channel. My name is John Crestani on YouTube, Crestani, and pick up my free course on affiliate marketing that'll be available once you subscribe. Now, this free course will describe to you in detail the methods I used to become wealthy in my own internet business without having to invest lots of money or have any employees. So this is the same system used by thousands of students of mine all over the world to earn a side or a full-time income. Now, until next time, money loves speed, so let's get it.